Hi, everyone. Good evening to you, and thank you so much for joining us here at WSAZ Plus. I'm Taylor Eaton. It is just after 9 o'clock on this Thursday, so it's time for us to go over our big headlines of the night. And one of our biggest is the weather event that we saw today. Weather-wise, it was a very interesting day for us. And we do have some breaking news that we are following here at WSAZ. We're going to have a lot more on that coming up for you at 10 and 11. But we wanted to provide you a weather update because we're experiencing some very spring-like weather here. If you were watching with us today, our meteorologist, we're really busy tracking these storms, and it was very interesting to see them play out. Here we are winter, and we're not necessarily talking about snow with this storm. We were talking about some rain, some thunderstorms, and some hail even in parts of the region. And we are likely going to see a little bit more of that in the days ahead. So I figured I'd go ahead and bring up Chief Meteorologist Tony Cavalier to join me here at the WSAZ Plus desk to give us a little update on what we are expecting in the overnight hours, Tony. Like I said, it was just really interesting to see those storms as you all were tracking them on radar. They really picked up in intensity, and I wondered if maybe we were going to see some watches or warnings, maybe even tornado watches or warnings come out of those, which we didn't, thankfully, but there were still some areas that saw a little bit of damage out of this. What caused the atmosphere to kind of pick up in intensity this afternoon? What was the recipe that caused all of that?
And the recipe was kind of simple. It was a spring weather pattern, May temperatures, April like thunder, and we also had some strong winds in the heavens like March. Put that together and you've got a meteorological mismatch that can produce some heavy weather. Interesting how I use all our viewers and here the journalist at WSAZ as litmus tests, if you will. And so Jimmy T was out shooting a couple of stories. I think over at Midland at the Castle, there was a big basketball game, girls basketball game. He came in and said, how's this a first alert day? And I think a lot of folks are saying that because keep in mind we cover 40 different counties.
Right.
And the severe weather that occurred across parts of the coal fields and in northern West Virginia, part of our viewing area, for example, near Arnoldesburg on the Rhone and the Clay County line, and over down into the southern coal fields of West Virginia and Kentucky, there were a series of hailstorms that occurred along with gusty winds. So whether it be that storm that moved from Calhoun County into Gilmer County, and on the back end of that, there was also some activity in Roane County, or whether it be from the Licking Valley of Kentucky to the Big Sandy and the Leviza Fork Valley of southern Kentucky and the Tug Fork Valley of West Virginia, there were some heavy storms. But again, Jimmy is like all viewers. Tell me about my weather, and we try to do the best we can in covering 40 counties in 3 different states.
Yeah, there were a lot of us that dodged those storms today, Tony, but there were still some of us that got in on them. And it sounds like we have more on the way from what you all were telling us tomorrow, because tomorrow's another first alert weather day for us. So what are we expecting? And I mean, do you think more of these storms will pop up here in the next few hours for us?
Our supercomputers are saying so, and they're running trillions of calculations, more than the human brain can process. So we're going with the notion that a second round of rain is coming in.
Okay.
It will have to form, because let me show you a couple of graphics that kind of indicate what we're going through. Because the second round will be coming in during the overnight. It really doesn't exist right now. It's a figment of the imagination of our computers, and in time, assuming it forms, we'll have some gusty rains come through, some thunder and lightning, and there may even be some nuisance street flooding. Behind that, the atmosphere turns quite windy tomorrow and stays windy all day long. Here's why that will occur. There'll be plenty of sun up in the heavens, and up there, the winds are going to be blowing at 50 miles an hour. When the sun comes out, it kind of sucks those winds down. It's a process called downward transport. And basically, we're going to tug some of that wind energy down to the ground. It will blow all day long. I'd say go fly a kite tomorrow with the kids, but I think the winds may be a little too strong. But if you do fly a kite, always run into the wind tail or not with the wind at your back for the best aerodynamics.
Okay. Well, Tony, let's real quick, if you don't mind, we'll see maybe if we can, what's on radar here.
Okay.
What we'll see maybe overnight.
I have nothing on my monitor here, so tell me what you have up right there.
Okay. Oh, well, I can run over here. I tell you what, right now I've got the first alert weather day graphic pulled up. It says round number 2, spring thunder.
Okay.
But let me run over and I'll turn on that monitor so that way you can see. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
Folks, I'm so used to being pampered. It's unusual when when a lovely young lady is willing to pamper me. But
hold on, let me see if I can troubleshoot here.
But if you call play-by-play, I'll be able to talk about what we're seeing.
All right. Well, we've got radar up over there here real quick.
Okay. So you just call play-by-play, and I'll be able to tell you what we're going to be looking
Sounds
at.
good. Okay. Well, on that note, I'm trying to get your monitor restarted so we can.
So I think what you're there it is. I've got it.
You got it now? Good.
Okay. So it's easy to make the forecast right now. The atmosphere has dried out. The daytime storms, there they are. Where are they concentrated? In the southern coal fields. Where did I think they were going to be concentrated? In southern Ohio. I was only off by 100 miles. Can you see that second cluster that moved through the coal fields during the late afternoon hours? That's the one that produced quite a bit of hail in the southern coal fields. But the bottom line is, if you widen out, coming in from the west, there's just nothing there. I'm kind of calling it a parting of the Red Sea. There are some big-time storms in Indiana and western Ohio that are moving away from us. But the area I've dashed in that black oval is an area to watch. Supercomputers are suggesting that there's going to be storm development in there. Why, you say? We still have enough wind energy in the heavens. It's still near 60 degrees, and the humidity is high, so we have moisture, warmth, and energy. So expectations are we will wind up with some weather overnight. These are the three areas that had severe weather today. Essentially northern West Virginia, Roane County, Calhoun County, all the way up toward WVU. That big crescent that runs through the coal fields started Louisville, Lexington, and ran through our southern coal fields. There were hailstorms reported. For example, there was a time when Nicholas and I were watching the radar that it appeared as though there might be a hook echo capable of producing a tornado in Boone County. We do know from Bob White up to Whitesville, Bandytown, there were hailstorms that in parts of that area whitened the lawns. And there was also a series of hailstorms with strong winds through the Daniel-Boone National Forest and parts of the Big Sandy River Valley, Floyd, Magoffin, over to Martin County. There are the three clusters of storms that we watched during the day. Again, up close and personal. Quarter-size hail, quarter misspelled, 50-mile-an-hour gust. You get the idea. There was some heavy activity out there, but that really was the only game in town. But Taylor, to your question, we're still near 60, and it still is a February night. Mm-hmm. Humidity is high. Now, the wind has backed off here at the surface, but up in the heavens, the winds are still going fast. So expectations are we will get some new rains overnight. There is still a tornado watch north of Cincinnati toward Indianapolis that will not be moving into our area. There's also a flood watch in West Virginia because the National Weather Service felt that the rains that fell or the melted snows of last week and the rains that would fall tonight could cause some streams to rise. To that effect, can you see the parting of the Red Sea that I'm drawing here? The storms near Cincinnati are heading toward Columbus. The earlier storms have moved away, and so we've got this area that's in a void right now, and we're waiting to see if something forms in here. I'm betting it does because our supercomputers are that good, and because the atmosphere is charged. Again, it's a 60-degree night in February. Earlier, it was a 70-degree night in 70-degree day in February. And when that happens and there's a storm system, a low pressure coming your way, that's a favorite environment for storms. So here we go. Futurecast, running those trillions of calculations. Here we are at 11 o'clock. This is a simulation. Midnight, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. Can you see where did they come from? Those storms formed. Okay, and then by first light of day, those storms are gone. And now look at those white lines that follow the storm. Not only is it dry tomorrow, also the sun's out. And the wind blows so strongly. Look at those tight lines that are packed together. That would indicate to me that we have a really good opportunity tomorrow in order to get in on a sunny day, a windy day. And again, if you get a 40-mile-an-hour gust several times, you have the opportunity for some power flickers. Cable TV might flicker, and maybe a few power outs, Taylor.
Well, Tony, something I've learned from listening to you over the years, sunshine, it's not good in those situations. I know we like to see it, but you've always said it kind of powers the atmosphere and just gives it a little extra oomph to form those storms, and then they become more intense.
The atmosphere works in a very strange way. It's all actually modeled mathematically, and it really is an eloquent way to use the mathematics. Now, Taylor, have you heard what's coming this weekend?
I have, but let's share it with our viewers because spring and winter are just doing this whole tug-of-war battle to see which one wins out as of late, Tony.
Well, we have a low pressure coming out of Canada, and it's coming right across our area. and it's heading toward the eastern seaboard. So let's go back to the maps.
Okay.
And you be the judge. Yes, meteorology has become sophisticated enough that you really don't need a Tony Cavalier to interpret the weather. But I'm going to let you make the call as we go back to the graphic.
Okay.
And you're going to see as we go forward in time. Okay, there's tomorrow. Let's go ahead to Saturday. Still a lot of wind, and we're dry, right? Okay, Tony, what's going on here? Well, low pressure is coming down from Canada. And all of a sudden, I'm already coaching some folks who want to get their kids back to Athens, OU, on Sunday. I say, okay, we've got some snow showers forming on Sunday. This is coming courtesy of cold air coming from the north and moisture that is in the atmosphere. And then by afternoon, I want you to watch how the Doppler radar gets populated with snow showers. And look at Huntington to Logan. Look at Charleston to Summersville. You can kind of make out fingers of snow that will be forming. And that pattern is going to last right through Monday. So we will have times when the ground is whitened with snow, only to melt away, and then re-whitened again, only to melt away. At least that's the way the forecast sets up. Overnight, I have us going from 60 to 55 at 5 a.m., new showers and thunderstorms forming. It won't rain for 5 hours in your house, but between midnight and 5 in the morning, you're apt to get an hour or two of rain and thunder. First light of day, the rain's gone. Breezy conditions have set in at 55, and then we hit 60 to 65 noon into the afternoon. I've highlighted noon in red because that's when the winds will be at their pinnacle. That would be when we would get 40-mile-an-hour gusts and have a chance to create some problems with, for example, the power grid, maybe some power outs, especially if the ground is wet. Trees are a little more easily swayed. And also, I wouldn't want our construction workers on ladders, especially in the middle of the day, because of those winds. And then can I have a drum roll, please? Because by Sunday, that's when the atmosphere gets cold enough for snow showers to form. We'll fall to 30 in the morning, 40 in the afternoon. So you get the idea. Any snow melts away. And then Sunday night into Monday, if I was a betting man, I'd say we get enough snow for school closings and delays on Monday morning.
Really?
And then by the time we get to Monday afternoon and Monday night, we could do it again. So I actually think there'll be 3 times at my house and at your house watching here on WSAZ Plus that you'll have the ground whitened with snow. Might there be a couple inches during that time period? Not likely all on the ground at once, but in the mountains there won't be melting, so I expect several inches of snow in Nicholas, Fayette, Raleigh, up to Webster counties, and as you go to the ski lodges. If you're going skiing this weekend, I think you're going to see improving conditions with plenty of fresh snow falling as we get to Sunday and Monday.
Well, and Tony, based on your forecast here for the 7-day, it looks as though even if we do get snow, that it wouldn't really hang around long because, what, 40s and 50s coming back right after that?
As we get toward the end of that period, we're getting toward the 1st of March. And the March sun is strong enough to get you sunburned. It's not like it is in midsummer. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is if you're going to accumulate snow at this time of the year, you're normally going to do it by day. Yes, the blizzard in 1993 was an all-day and all-night, 2 days, 2-night snowstorm, and snow accumulated morning, noon, and night to the tune of 2 feet. It's interesting. I can share this with WSAZ Plus viewers because this is something I wouldn't say on the air. But the American model has been putting out an incredible amount of snow in the state of Virginia at the expense of the European model saying much more tempered snows.
For the weekend?
For the weekend, an incredible amount. That's the American model, but it hasn't been very good this winter. And so most meteorologists are kind of nixing it. But it's still a good computer model. It can do a heck of a lot better than I can, unless I can look at the European model. So the European model is suggesting probably a half a foot of snow in the West Virginia mountains and 1 inch to 3 inches the Huntington to Charleston area, more like 2 or 3 toward Charleston, 1 inch toward Huntington. But again, the first flake hasn't fallen, and the low pressure that's going to produce this is up in Canada. So we simply have to watch the weather very closely. After all, I mean, if you think about it, we just beat Canada in Olympic hockey, the gold medal game with the women in hockey.
It was fun to watch, yeah.
So you don't know what Canada is going to send at us. And, of course, I, for one, I'm planning on being up early Sunday morning to watch what I hope will be a rematch of the Four Nations hockey tournament championship game. We're hoping the gold medal game is the United States against Canada. But you know what? NBC's got you covered because there are still 2 more games to be played. Mm-hmm. That will be on Friday, and the Americans and the Canadians have to earn their way toward gold. As far as us getting a gold medal forecast tomorrow, it won't happen. The wind's out, the sun is up, And the weekend, well, again, I'm already coaching some people who want to get their kids back to Athens, OU. If you're traveling on Sunday, you want to keep abreast. But if you must travel, you'll travel during the daylight hours, say 10 till 3, sun's up, and any snow would be melting at that point. But early in the morning and at night, snow would be sticking. And I've stuck my neck out and said, I think there'll be school days and closings come Monday morning.
All right. Well, some interesting weather days ahead of us, Tony. We always appreciate you being here on WSAZ Plus. And for our viewers that are with us, we always laugh here at the station because anytime we have technical problems, or I'll say, oh, something's not working, normally the question is always, well, did you turn it off and turn it back on? That's all I had to do with the monitor. So if all else fails, my technology knowledge doesn't go very far. So if all else fails, just turn it off and turn it back on and hope that it works.
And look at me, expecting everything to be done for me.
No, I felt bad. I'm sorry. I'm glad I at least got it fixed so that way you can see everything. But all right, Tony, we appreciate you being here on WSAZ Plus as always. Tony will be back with us at 10 and 11, get us caught up on that first alert weather day for tomorrow. And we hope you will join us because we have a lot of big breaking news stories. We have a live report coming out of Nicholas County, West Virginia with our reporter Luke Hamilton, where a death investigation is underway. So we have a lot to get to, and we hope that you will join us. If not, we will be back here on WSAZ Plus, same time, same place tomorrow evening. Hope you have a great rest of your night, everyone.